Hello, everyone out in Facebook land and Artfully Connected with Cindy Harrison. I'm Cindy Harrison, your host, and I am here tonight with Miss Debbie James. Welcome and nice to have you here. How are you?
I'm well, Cindy, and thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
It's been a long time coming, and I know for the rest of the Artfully Connected universe, I haven't done a Meet the Artist in a while, and so yes, I am now starting back up again, and you're my first guest for 2022.
Woohoo!
I know it's hard to believe it's already here in 22 years after 2020. And remember how when we were kids all looking forward to 2000, sorry, looking for 2000 to come up, and now we're in 2022. Oh my God.
Yeah. I remember driving home from Toronto one night, and it was New Year's Eve. And everybody was all concerned about Y2K.
Yeah.
And we were driving home watching to make sure the lights didn't go out all over the world.
Yeah. And all the computers were supposed to crash and everything, right? It's like really wild. But here we are, and
nothing happened.
The world's still turning, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So wonderful. I'm just trying to, waste a little time here to get people to find us on Facebook, because I know how sometimes it's very difficult for people to find us, and everybody's computer is different and sees things in a different way. I don't know why that is, but that is. And so I'm just trying to make sure that everyone can find us so they can learn more about you. And that's what these programs are all about, is I want people to get to know you and get to know the artist, and not just be a name or a picture in a book that they purchased. I want them to get to know the artist and feel more like we're all family, because we are all artfully connected one way or another, are we not?
Absolutely.
It's crazy. So I want to go and make sure that we have the numbers, and I see we have a few people here. So welcome everyone who is joining us on Facebook Live. If you are watching the replay, thank you also for taking time out of your day to spend the next hour with us here on Meet the Artist series with Debbie James. And if you have any questions, whether you're watching live or on the replay, feel free to go ahead and ask the questions in the comments, and put a little @ in front of my name or her name, whichever one comes highlighted, and we'll let her know that there's a question for her to answer, and get back to you on that. So Sandy, my friend Sandy's here too. Yeah, I'm gonna say hi. And if there's any kind of droppings of places to go, Sandy will post them in there for you and remind you of Debbie James Etsy store and other things that you can go check out more from her there. So just thank you for being here today, Debbie. Thank you for sharing your art with us. And I know you're all the way from Canada, right?
I am, yeah.
So tell us
on the beautiful shores of Lake Huron, a nice beach town.
So tell us all about it.
Well, it's a small little place. There's about, between the two towns that are amalgamated, there's about 7,000 people. And in the summertime, it triples. It's a great tourist destination, beautiful white sand beaches, and it's one of my favorite places in the world. So when we decided to retire, this was where we wanted to be. We had a cottage up here for about 30 years before we bought our house and moved up. So yeah, moved out of the greater Toronto area.
I was going to say, so did you grew up in that area, or where'd you grow up?
Just outside of Toronto. So
and was it still in like the city, or was it the country, or how
It was a town which grew to be a city. It's now about 750,000 people. When I lived there as a kid, there were about 16,000. So that's how it's boomed. And it's basically a suburb of Toronto. So yeah, busy place.
So do you have siblings?
No, just me.
You're
No.
an only child, huh?
I am. Yep. The spoiled brat.
Were you? I was gonna just say, were you spoiled like everyone thinks only children are? I don't know.
No, my parents are extremely strict.
Ah, so you got the opposite end of it.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't want you to be one of those spoiled only children.
No, I think they did everything in their power not to have a spoiled brat. So
now were they artistic at all? Did you, or any of your, I assume you have aunts and uncles or cousins or anything? Is it an artistic family?
Not really, other than my mother. My mom was always busy, whether it was sewing, knitting, crocheting, embroidery, whatever, but she was also an oil painter. And she's really the only one in the family that I know of that has ever had any artistic ability or pursued anything in the arts. But she was very good, and I didn't really realize it until I started painting myself, how good she was.
Did you get to keep some of her pieces?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some of them.
It's nice when you can see someone else in the family, having those traits, kind of like it kind of helps you to say, oh, that's where possibly where they could have come from, right? Possibly,
yeah. Certainly all the other things like the knitting and sewing and crocheting and embroidery and all of those other things.
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't start painting until I don't know, I was quite a bit older. And but that's, as I say, that's when I really started to appreciate her talent. And she was very good.
So the next question is, when did you start to paint?
That's quite a segue, wasn't it? 1989.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
Yeah, now what turned you on to start painting? Did you just automatically do it? Did she influence you and you wanted to say, hey, I want to try that? Or how did that all come about?
Well, actually, I was looking for something that wouldn't bother my wrists and elbows and shoulders as much as the knitting and so on. And a cousin of mine was into toll painting and said to me, if I can do it, you can do it. Just check out some place where you can take a few lessons and you'll love it. So I was at a craft sale at a local high school, and there was a lady there who had a beautiful display, and she had information about upcoming beginner classes. So I had quite a conversation with her, and the next thing I knew, I was signed up and away I went. So I never looked back. It was, from dipped up flowers to being totally hooked. So
cool. So so were there certain artists that influenced you that, when you started doing that and getting into it, like you start going and looking at books and what do I want to paint next and whatever, was there one particular artist that you felt like I would, I want to be like that, or I want to paint like her or something like that?
Yes. There were a few, but as I started, progressing and doing more and more painting, Priscilla Hauser, basically with her roses, that was where I wanted to be. And I had the good fortune to paint with her many years ago, and it was really a thrill. So, and then the other person who really influenced my painting was Maureen Mcnaughton. And she lived fairly close to where I was living. And I was able to go to some seminars at her studio. And boy, that was a great experience. And then one of the seminars that I took there was taught by Russ Dahlcup.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's been many influences, but those were sort of my earliest influences.
Yeah, you get the top hitters all right away.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. That's so wonderful. So
Mhm.
when did you start? I mean, when did you start teaching art? I'm assuming you might have. How did you start teaching? When and how?
Well, I was taking a lot of classes after the lady that I first mentioned that was teaching me. She became ill and passed away. And I ended up painting at a studio in Acton, Ontario, and it was owned by Ruth Cranon Dunk and Brenda LaRose. And eventually I said to them, do you think I could try teaching a class? And they said, absolutely. So I started, and I have no idea, it's got to be about 20 years ago now. Started teaching there. And then I was also taking classes at another studio in Oakville called Harborcraft. And it was owned by Barb Jenkins, who has since passed away, and Eileen Hamill. And then I started teaching there. So anyway, it was pretty cool because Barb was very good friends with Sherry Roll, and she had Sherry in to do seminars and so on. And it was a great place to work. And I got to meet a ton of people. So
Yeah. So that's awesome. Now, did you start designing at the same time that you started teaching? Or were, you know, like a lot of us, we started teaching other people's designs before we became our own designers. So how did that, how was that transition for you?
I also went that path where I taught other people's designs, and then eventually started designing my own um, pieces. And I don't know, I think it was a big lack of confidence that I didn't start sooner, but it's probably about 8 or 9 years ago that I started.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So you're
And
still just still young, but yet you've got so much talent, and obviously you should have started a lot earlier.
well, maybe, yeah, but you know, it's hard when you've been painting with the big guns and then you look at your own work and are not really sure that it's up to par.
Aren't we our own worst critics, right?
Always. Mhm.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Did you ever have another job before painting? Before?
Yes. Yeah, I sure did. I'm a retired RN, and I worked for about 25 years in the hospital, and then left for a little while, and then I ended up working in an office with one of the OBGYNs that I knew from the hospital. So I worked for him for 9 years.
I can
Uh,
see that in you. You look like you're an RN.
as long as it's not Nurse Cratchit, right?
No, oh no, you're not. But do you know, just as an observation, when I first started getting involved with the local chapter and getting to know more of the people in the industry, I noticed a lot of them were nurses or
Mhm.
teachers or hairdressers.
Yeah.
Do you notice a lot of nurses are into decorative painting?
Uh, Painting in general, it was really interesting. I was at an open studio thing here where we live, and we got talking, and 8 out of the 9 people were all in healthcare, most of us nurses, former nurses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, some of my friends here are former nurses. Um, okay, so what is your favorite subject matter? What do you like painting? What makes you the happiest?
Well, um, probably in the last, I would say 4 or 5 years, I've started doing more landscapes and beachscapes, that sort of thing. And that's what I really enjoy doing. And I like to take photographs, and then it's challenging to come up with all of your um, proper tones and colors and so on, and to make it look as realistic as possible. So that's what I've been trying to do, is work towards realism
So,
in the beachscapes.
so you do, I was going to ask that next question. So you do take your own pictures, and do you have to have education in photography to do it, or are you just seeming to have that natural eye that you have the right angle that you're looking for, or how does that work out?
First question, no, I don't take all my own photos. This painting right behind me, that is from a photograph by Judy Westergaard Jenkins. And she was away on vacation, posted this picture of the beach. And I said, oh, Judy, I love it. Can I paint that? And she said, no, sorry, that one's for me. So I thought, oh, okay, well, you'll do a beautiful job on it. And then the very next day, she posted this picture and said, here, Debbie James, this one's for you. So that's from her camera. I took a couple of classes with my SLR camera, and it was more photographing your artwork rather than, you know, going out and photographing in nature. So most of my photos are from my phone or my iPad. And then I sit and crop them and try and find a point of interest. And actually this other painting that's up here, it's hard to see, but it was from a young lady in Halifax, and her name is Kelly George. And she posted her photograph online, and right away I got a hold of her and said, oh my God, I love it. Can I go ahead and paint it? And she said, oh, certainly. I think she was quite shocked. And so then when it was done, I sent her a picture of the finished painting, and she took it to the property owner, which was kind of neat.
And the property owner is like kept it?
No, it's still here, but she took her laptop, I guess, to show them, or, you know, to show them online what it looked like.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Cool. Birdie B says she loves your beaches.
Thank you.
And Louise Long said, hi, Debbie from Oakville, Ontario. I took a few classes from you. So yay. So thanks you everyone for being here with us and listening to Debbie James's journey. I think it's amazing. I think it's very, very wonderful and very informative, because I mean, a lot of people, like, especially why you say that you were hesitant to start designing and also about the photography and stuff, because a lot of people, they feel the same way you did, you know, they feel the same way, and they don't feel they have that knowledge. But I think after you've painted enough years, I think you have enough knowledge. It's just a matter of the confidence to do it, you know?
Yeah. And I think it's, you know, whether you are able to put design elements together and make it pleasing to other people. It might be pleasing to you, but you want it to be pleasing to other people so that they're going to want to paint, you know, either along with you or take your patterns and enjoy them. And, you know, I have a couple of people that were very instrumental in giving me a boot in the rear end and telling me to get going. And that's Deb Antonick and Tracy Morrow.
Excellent. Yeah. And yeah, everybody needs one or two of those on their court. I had a couple myself, so they definitely pushed me into that, and I thank them as well. I was gonna say Mary Owens and Barb Watson for two. Mary McLean, who's no longer with us.
Right.
Very, very much supportive in my corner. So now you talked about coming up with your designs, in part, you talked about photography and stuff like that, but that's not all you do. You have some more whimsical things, more fantasy type paintings. And so how does that come to you? I mean, like, how do you get there?
Quite often I'll see a photo somewhere and I don't copy it, but you kind of take the concept from the photo. And I have one in my head that's been spinning around for a little while that I'm going to be working on very shortly. And it's a little young child in tutu getting ready for ballet class, you know. So there's different things that way, but I won't be doing it realistically. I'll be doing it more whimsically, you know, to try and bring about a feeling that goes with it. I think that's part of it, is that when you're doing all these different things, like I did a series right at the very beginning when I started designing, and it was all fancy shoes and purses and hats, and they were done in sets. And it's sort of like, here I am, I'm really sassy, you know? So there's different types of emotions that you try and promote or instill, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where a lot of that comes from. And sometimes I just want to have fun. I don't want to worry about getting the sky looking right, or, you know, trying to make the beach look normal, natural, and not too rugged and that sort of thing. So sometimes it's just fun to play.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. What's your favorite medium?
Definitely acrylics. I've worked in oils. I've dabbled in watercolor, and I have done a lot of mixed media over the years. But I always go back to acrylics. They're my favorite. And I
Is that
think
bottled acrylics or tubed?
both, both. Um, Primarily, I use DecoArt products, and so I stick to Americanas a lot. I have started using some traditions, which I love. The pigmentation in them is just wonderful. So um, the traditions had gone to tubes, but now they're going back to bottles. So
Yeah, I just saw that. I got the announcement. They look really sharp. So I like the bottles.
I do too.
I think
Yeah.
that was a general consensus why they did that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite technique? Do you have a favorite technique? You know, one that you might seem to incorporate in most of your work?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't enjoy it, and that's floating. I love side-loaded floating, and I tend to be very, very light-handed with it. And so where other people might put on one float and get the effect that they're looking for, I probably would put on three. So, and just build it up. Um, but I don't know, I just sort of caught on to it early on, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah. I think you're the second, at least the second teacher that said floating was her favorite technique. Not everybody does. You know that F word, right?
Yeah, yeah, floating and freehand.
Oh gosh, yes, both of those. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do you have a favorite brush?
Well, to go along with my floating, I use either a 1 inch or a 3/4 inch angle shader. And sometimes I'll go down as small as a 3/8. But, you know, I have very tiny little angle brushes, and I probably haven't used them in 5 or 6 years.
Do you have a special brand that you prefer?
Definitely. I'm a Dynasty girl, so I use the black golds. That's what I like. And I find that even some of their other brushes for my satisfaction in painting are a bit too thick and there's too much bristle there. So I find with the black gold, they're a little bit finer, and I can control it a lot better. So I would say the large angle, and then definitely long script liners.
Awesome. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really, I think I'm turning into a Dynasty girl myself.
Well, it was interesting. I watched Judy's reservoir brush demo the other night, and I have those brushes and have never used them. So I pulled them out actually yesterday. And so that's another one of my want-to-dos. That'll be probably tomorrow. I'll play with it for a little bit.
Yeah, I went and had to find mine too. I got it out. It's not a very big, it's a number 4. And well, we're gonna try. We're gonna try again. And I've had it for 20 years.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I've got some different size ones, so I'm going to give those a whirl. I'm looking forward to trying them.
So Deb said that she loves you too.
Aw.
And then she wrote, and flowers. So I wonder what that, you like to do flowers? You like to paint flowers?
Yeah, I paint some flowers. I do. Yeah. And most of those came from photographs too. Like tiger lilies that we had at the cottage for years and years and years. Got a couple of snaps of those and then painted up a couple. Magnolia from when we were down in Georgia one time, and the magnolias were just amazing. So I was running around with my camera all over the place, taking pictures.
Do you find that you do that when you go on vacation or you go anywhere and you see flowers, you got to stop and take pictures of them all?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought it was just me, and my family keeps looking at me and saying, will you stop that, Mom? Will you come along? And I'm like, I got to take pictures of these flowers.
Yeah, I have bougainvillea from Mexico and trumpet vines from up the road, and yeah, I'm bad for that.
Oh, Deb was saying that flowers are her F word because she's the one that loves to float too. But yeah, her F word is flowers. She does not want to do flowers.
Oh dear.
That's funny. So what is your best tip that you could give somebody? What, if you had words of wisdom to pass on to the painters, what would it be?
I think the best thing for a painter, whether it's a new painter or an experienced painter, is not to be too hard on yourself. Something to you may not look perfect, but for the vast majority of people that look at your work, they don't see the little boo-boos or the glitches or whatever that you're seeing. So I think just don't be too hard on yourself.
That's very good advice. It's very good advice. Is there, before I go on to more questions, people out there, thank you so much for joining us. And for those who came in late, you can go back and watch the replay under guides. And there's Meet the Artist /vendor guide. You can go and watch the replay there. If you have any questions, those that are watching live or those that are watching on the replay, please go ahead and post them in the comments and put a little @ in front of, if you're watching live, I'll see them right now. If you are watching the replay, put an @ in front of them, and then we will answer those questions for you at a future date. So thank you again. And if you please, I'm running out of questions. I need help. So ask some questions, especially those who know her and know what questions to ask her to tell us about something that she doesn't want to talk about right now.
That could be dangerous.
I will make sure that I screen them and I'll only ask the appropriate ones.
Okay. Sounds good.
So the next question is there a medium, a subject, or a technique that you haven't done yet that you would like to try?
Yes. I would like to do some impasto. I've done a little bit of work with a palette knife, but not enough to be proficient at it. And so there's that. But then also, what really intrigues me are watercolorists and how they can have such beautiful paintings, and mine just end up looking like water soggy blobs. Like I just
it's learning how to control the medium, definitely. So.
Yeah, so that's something else that I would like to explore more and hopefully get some proficiency in.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that one. Birdie B is asking, any plans to do your paint nights this summer?
Oh, depends on what COVID's doing. The restaurants and things have just opened up here just this week. So we were doing a lot of paint nights out of Boston Pizza. And so, of course, when was it? 2020, everything came to a screeching halt. And so I wasn't able to do any more there. I do have in my studio here, I have seating for anywhere from 16 to 18 students. And I'm hoping to get some things going, Bertie, in the basement here. And it'll just depend on a couple of health issues with hubby. So
there you go.
Yeah.
It says, when next will you be teaching for HADA?
Oh, yeah. HADA is the Hamilton Area Decorative Artists. And there's a number of people. Judy Westergaard Jenkins is involved, and there's a number of other names that you would know, like Sue Potts and oh gosh, there's a whole bunch of us. But anyway, there's different in-house seminars that are being held, and we're going to be doing them all via Zoom. And so I'll be doing one in May.
Mm-hmm. Do you still do your paint parties? I know that you're not having them in the house, but have you tried doing the paint parties via Zoom?
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of success doing that, but when things were sort of semi-open, I was able to go to a couple of people's homes, and we just all stayed masked up, and there was 10 people at one and 12 at the other. And so the 12 were a bunch of nurses. So I knew that they were being careful. And we used one lady's massively big heated garage and had the table set up in there. It was fun.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, so I've done a couple, but nothing like I was doing. I was pretty busy for a long time.
So they can look forward to hearing more about that in the future. Do you have any hobbies other than painting? Well, painting is actually kind of a profession now, right? So do you have any hobbies?
I'd actually like to paint for myself more. That's
your hobby.
Yeah, that's one of the things I would like to do. But I recently picked up some knitting and did a couple of sweaters for a little guy. And, I like to read, but I usually read in the summer on the beach. That's yeah. So I find in the wintertime, I just get too warm and cozy. And, if I read, I fall asleep. So that's not good. So really, I don't have much other than painting on the go right now.
In the winter.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that leads us to, what are the projects that you're going to be doing for Artful Webinars?
Well, for Artful Webinars, I have some little gnomes coming up on February 14th, Valentine's Day. So this is the little guys. This is on an 8x10 artist panel, and the background is painted. It looks like it might be a scrap of paper, and certainly you could do that if you chose to. But I painted it, and then I had a heart stencil and a polka dot stencil, and I just went to town and added them randomly. And that was a fun little one to do. I really enjoyed that. And then on March 10th, we're going to be doing this one up here, and this is called Through the Dunes. That one is on canvas at 16x20, I believe. But I've been working. I haven't done any more since the last time I showed this, Cindy. I apologize. But it's in the works, and this is an 11x14. And we'll be doing this on March 10th. And it's much easier than it looks to do. So I hope people will take a look at it and sign up for it. That would be great. And then do you want my one for Friday as well?
Yes, please do.
Okay. So this Friday, we're going to be painting some greeting cards. And I love getting greeting cards. I love getting personal ones, ones that people have handcrafted. And I'm not a paper crafter. I have no patience whatsoever for sitting and cutting out little pieces of paper and organizing them. I love looking at them, but it's definitely not for me. So I decided that I wanted to paint some cards. And this group, the Hamilton Area Decorative Artists, we do cards that go into a pool, and they're mailed out to anybody in the group who, may be ill or have lost someone, that sort of thing. So I've been painting cards for a while, but these ones are birch trees or aspens. I guess some of you guys call them aspens. And so they're very easy to do. I did 2 the same, but I wanted to show people how we could embellish them a little bit and, make the design stand out a little bit more. This little one, sorry, my lighting's not so great tonight. This one is the other design, and we're going to use foliage brushes if you have them, or old scruffy brushes, and I'll show you how to quickly do some evergreen trees. So here's 2 that are half done, and I did these to take photographs for the little pattern packet. So I made a pattern packet available on Etsy, and if you'd like to paint along, you're more than welcome. I would love to have you. If you want to just watch, that's fine too. But I wanted to show you that you don't have to have specialty papers and so on. You can still paint a beautiful little greeting card and send it off to somebody who will really appreciate hearing from you. So that's that. What else do I have on the go, Cindy?
I was going to say, where else will you be teaching? Because I'm all about supporting the decorative arts, no matter where you're teaching. I want everyone to know so they can go check it out and maybe sign up for your classes there as well.
Well, the only other thing, oh no, I have 2 things. I have the in-house seminar that we're doing at the Hamilton Area Decorative Artists in May. And if you'd like to check out the website, it's hadapaint.org. So it's HADA paint.org. And the upcoming seminars are listed there. And we do have prices for members, and then for non-members, it's a little bit more. But it's just recently been decided that all of the meetings will be done virtually until at least September. So people from anywhere can join in. It's just like the chapters in the States where, where they're hosting a seminar and they have other people come in and join. And then I have a little thing I'm going to be doing with Creative Innovations in the Facebook group in June. And that will be a little 1.5 hour lesson, and there will be a pattern available for that as well. Not probably for a few weeks. Cindy's keeping me too busy, but it'll be a little beach theme. So looking forward to that too.
Cool. Okay. So right now the people can only find you at the Etsy.com. Is that right? So, and Sandy put that link in there, and I think I did too, whatever. So you can
Thank you.
Go there as well. But you are working on a website.
I am. Yeah, it's in the works, and I'm not a very technical person when it comes to computers. So I'm struggling away with it, and I've got it as far as a commerce page. So hopefully that will be up and running soon.
Cool. And so I don't know, I've run out of things to say.
I'm not a very interesting person.
Oh, you are very interesting. It's just that I run out of questions early, and then it's like, I don't know. And if people don't ask questions, then we end up early. But thank you so much for sharing this with us, and hope everyone go check out our Etsy store, and also to artfulwebinars.com. You can check out her upcoming classes and sign up for those. And Sandy put in the hadapaint.org thing in there. You can go check that out if you want to do that piece with Debbie. But yeah, sure. This has been wonderful having you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to mention something too. I wasn't able to submit anything to you for the convention that's coming up. And I think everybody should take a really good look at Artful Webinars convention that's coming up. There's some amazing classes. There's wonderful instructors, and it's a fantastic opportunity for people to paint with people that they may not normally paint with. And what else was I going to say to you? I was going to say something. Oh gosh, it's gone. But anyway, thank you so much for having me, Cindy. I really appreciate it very much.
You're welcome. And we appreciate you and all that you're doing for the industry. Thank you so much. And then let's see. Would Debbie be interested in doing a make it, take it, or demo? Or aren't you doing a demo for the convention?
Working on it.
Or make it, take it? One of them, right?
Yeah, a little demo. I'm working on it. I have it 3/4 of the way finished. Tomorrow, Cindy.
Okay, so if you are going to the convention, she will be one of the demos. We have like 14 or 15 demos, make it, take it, and 12 demos. So each day of the convention will be filled with a lot of information, as well as the classes that you're going to sign up for, hopefully.
Yeah. And then another little convention that's happening here in Canada is Art Waves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, if you're looking for information on it, it's the letter C, the number 2, the letter C, events.com. And it's, and that stands for Coast to Coast Events. And if you look under spring Art Waves, anyway, it's, there's a number of wonderful teachers there too. Trying to think, Lana Lamb, Linda O'Connell, Donna Duvall. There's all kinds of people there as well that you'll really enjoy painting with. Liz Garcia. And there's a variety of different subjects. And you guys in the States, if you take a look at our Canadian classes, you get a real deal on the exchange.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about the Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah, go check that out, because I don't think that you can ever have enough education. And thanks to COVID, everybody's jumped on the bandwagon and is doing Zoom. And I wish I had taken out stock. But needless to say, I'm glad that you all have finally hopped on the electronic bandwagon. And it's really a market for you guys to take as many classes as you want from as many teachers that normally otherwise wouldn't have a chance to take from. So it's really a benefit for everyone out there in the universe. So sure. Because it's global, it's not just the US or just Canada, or it's global. So it's really an awesome opportunity for everyone. So I wanted to also say, other than thank you to Debbie for being here tonight, but we also have our show and tell for the convention coming up, and that's going to be on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And that's where all of the artists who are involved with Artful Webinars in general, whether it be the convention or just regular webinars, and also for the Watch, Learn, and Creates that we have here in the group, will be there showing off their work, and also you can see where else they are teaching and what else they are teaching. So you can join us for that. Then on Friday at 7 p.m. we are doing Debbie James again, doing the birch trees or aspens, and you'll want to be here for that again at 7 p.m. Next Monday, we're going to do Meet the Artist with Kathy Swigen. She's a past president of the Society of Decorative Painters, if you recognize the name, but not sure from where. And she's a designer, and she has a lot of neat techniques that I can't wait to bring to this audience. And then we have on February 9th, Wednesday, we have Deb Antonic is going to be doing one of her Watch, Learn, and Creates. And then we have another one with Amy Mogish on the 11th. So, I mean, we are just full out in this group with lots of educational demonstrations and little mini make it take it's and all this stuff. So please hang on out, tell your friends, come join the family. And if you have any questions or any concerns or any ideas that you'd like to see more of, just let me know. And you can do it in the group. You can do it private message if you want, anything like that. I'm here to listen to any ideas you might have to put forward. So I will go and try to answer those for you. But until then, thank you so much, Debbie.
Thank you.
It was great. It was great. And everyone else here, have a wonderful evening. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, and we will see you all again soon.
Bye, folks.